This is a demonstration of how to complete task 12. Looking at the task sheet, it says, complete this task on Sibelius. Choose a major key with up to 4 sharps or 4 flats. Compose a 4-bar rhythm featuring 2 2-bar phrases structured as a question followed by an answer, as in task 4. Develop your rhythm into a 4-bar melody by moving the pitches of the notes up or down into a smooth shape in each phrase. Use your knowledge of cadences to make the music sound unfinished at the end of bar 2 and finished at the end of bar 4. One item to hand in: video your music playing back in Sibelius. Make sure the video clearly shows the score and the audio. Okay, let's go into Sibelius. And we'll begin by clicking once on blank. We need to create an instrument, but the task doesn't tell us which instrument to create. So I'm going to create one for flute. So I could have searched for flute there, but it's on my list here, so I just click add to score and click OK. Scroll down, leave the time signature at 4/4, add a metronome mark. You can choose the tempo to say how fast or slow the music's going to be. I'm going to choose a key with up to 4 sharps or 4 flats. I'm going to choose D major. You can choose any key. The title should be Task 12. The composer should be your name. And you should enter the year that you wrote the music next to the copyright information. And then click Create. Before you do anything else, notice that it says Untitled 3 at the top. So we go to File, Save As, and you're going to call it Task 12. Because I've got a number of Task 12 examples stored on here, I'm going to call it Task 12 Demo June 21 and click Save. Now we have to create 4 bars in this piece of music. And I'm thinking about the 1-beat rhythmic groups that you learnt for the earlier tasks. So that's how I'm going to enter the rhythm. Click on the first bar and think of a 1-beat group. In fact, I'm just going to choose a crotchet. I'm going to record all of my notes onto the note D to start with, and then once the rhythm is complete, then I'll move them around to create it into a melody. So you actually, on the keypad, you could select crotchet, but you don't need to because it's always there in the first place. So press D. There's my D. I've decided I don't want it to be on that D at the top. I'd like it to be on the D at the bottom. So notice the pitch at the bottom of the screen here like we did before, and just use the down arrow to come down to the D. And this is the D that's just 1 note above middle C. Okay, in the next part of my rhythm, I've imagined that the next shape, if you imagine this to be T, the next 1 beat is going to be lemonade, which is 2 semiquavers and a quaver. So come over to the keypad, click the semiquaver button and press D twice, and then press the quaver button and press D once. And there you can see the lemonade shape. So we've got T, lemonade, and in my mind I've thought of that the next part is coffee, so I'm going to add 2 quavers. Just press D twice because I've already got the quaver selected, and then I'd like just 1 more crotchet at the end of that bar. So I'll click on the crotchet, press D, and there's my first rhythm. So that goes T, lemonade, coffee, tea. In my mind the next part is lemonade, so same as we did before, and then maybe coffee, and then maybe lemonade again, and then tea. Okay, so there's many different patterns that you can choose for your rhythm. It doesn't matter particularly, but try to keep things in groups of 1 beat, and that will help both you to understand how the rhythm builds up to start with, and also it will help somebody else to read it if they're not confident when they're reading rhythm. So let's rewind it by just holding down the left arrow. And let's press P to play. Okay, now we want this to be a question and answer. So that's that represents our question, that first 2 bars. The next 2 bars represents our answer. So often, if you were talking to somebody, you might say, what are you going to do tomorrow? And then the answer would be, tomorrow I'm going to the zoo. So you're using part of the question in the answer. Let's use that idea to help us to develop bars 3 and 4. So I'm actually going to take this first bar rhythm and I'm going to copy it. To copy, hold down Control and press C. To paste, click on the bar where you want to paste it, hold down Control and press V. So now I'm going to listen again to my rhythm and imagine what goes in the final bar, remembering that I'd like it to sound finished at the end of the 4th bar. Click on the first note and press P. I'm going to add a Coca-Cola here. So to do that, I clicked on the bar, clicked on the semiquaver. Don't worry if it changes the shape of what's in the bar. All it's done there is it's separated these first notes into semiquavers, but because we haven't told it what note it is yet, it's just made them into rests. And we'll just press D 4 times. So we got our Coca-Cola. I'm going to have another one. And you saw there that the music broke down onto 2 lines, and that's absolutely fine. It's just that it ran out of space to make it easy to read on that top line. And I'm going to end my rhythm with coffee or quaver, quaver, and then make sure that the longest note of my rhythm is at the end. The longest note I've used so far is a crotchet, so I'll just put a crotchet D at the end. Okay, now here's another way to rewind. The arrow is on blue. I don't want the arrow to be on blue, I want it to be on black. So press Escape at the top left-hand corner of the keyboard. Then I can click on the first note and press P. Okay, I'm happy with that because it feels like a question and answer because of this relationship between bars 1 and 3. The next thing, if we go back to the task, we can see this thing about using your knowledge of cadences. Well, cadences is a bit of a strange word because it's related to harmony, but actually harmony and melody, they're really closely related. So from that knowledge, the thing that you need to remember is that if you end a phrase with a chord 5, then it will sound unfinished. So we're going to use note 5, or what we call the dominant note. The dominant note in D major, if you think about it, is D. So D would be note 1, E would be note 2, F sharp would be note 3, G would be note 4, and A would be note 5. So because we want the end of bar 2 to sound unfinished, we're going to put this on the A. We want the end of the 4th bar to sound finished. To sound finished, you always come back to the tonic or note from the tonic chord. And so the tonic note in D major is D. You could finish on a D, an F sharp or an A, but I always think it sounds stronger just to finish on a D at this point in your composition. And we're going to start on the D as well, because we want to establish that it feels like it's in D major. That's really important. Okay, we've created the rhythm. We've added those points in as almost like signposts to work around. And now all we need to do is to create it into a shape. Now what's important here is that the pitch doesn't go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down too much. Because if that happens, the movement of the up and down will distract the listener away from what's happening in the melody. We're going to move where possible by step. And to do that, all we do, we know that that first note needs to be a D. So click on the second note, and the only decision is, are we going to go up or down? So on this occasion, I'm going to go up. And so I've pressed the up arrow to do that. Then press the right arrow to select the next note, and then you can see I've moved up by step because I've gone inner space on a line, inner space, and it goes line space, line space, line space in that order all the way up or down. Okay, now I'm just going to listen to that first little bit of phrase that I've created there to see what I think of it. So I'll press the left arrow to step down and then press P to play. I quite like that. Now I'm going to put this note on an A. And the reason that that's maybe a little bit strange is because something else you try to avoid with melody writing is having notes that repeat it straight after. So to have this as an A and that as an A, potentially that can make the fluency of the melody get stuck. But on this occasion, I quite like it as a almost like a feature. So I'm going to use that as a feature. Let's listen to it. Okay. I really like that, but I don't like the drop back to the D. It feels like it's gone home too quickly. So I'm going to just move that up. So try that. Really like that. And then the decision is, again, from here on this next note, does this go higher than the F sharp at the end of that bar, or does it go lower? So listen and imagine that again. I'm going to go up. So you've almost like got a scale there. Let's rewind it and have a listen. I really like that. Now I need to bring it to this A from this D using these notes. Let's see what we've got in terms of space around, because the other thing to think about is range. Between this note and this note, they're both D, so that range 8 notes apart is called an octave, and you don't want to have too wide a range because it will be complex for your listener to remember. You want to try and make your melodies memorable. So I'm going to come down a bit, but I don't want to put that A there, I don't think. Let's listen to it. It's okay, but I want there to be more fluency around it. So I'm actually going to imagine this is a target. I'm going to be kind of zooming in on it. So I'm going to put a step down there, see if that's a little better. Don't know. Let's try another one. I really like that. Let's listen to it. So that again is a bit more of a leap than I would have liked, but it feels like a feature in the music, so I'm gonna go with it. Yeah, I really do like that. Okay. Now, what should we do in bar 3? Now, I've got a choice. I could go back to the beginning and just have it the same as this, but I think I might use the inspiration of feeling like I want to go a little higher from that point. So I'm going to move this note up to the... What shall I do? Let's go up to the D, and then let's go down the other way. I'll do that repeating note again. Let's listen to the new phrase. Didn't quite play properly. Let's do that again. On its own, it's lovely as a melody, but let's play it again from the beginning. Yeah, I really like that. And then all we've got to do is make it come home now and sound like it's finishing off. We know that that note at the end is our last note. Let's make this the same idea as this, where it's kind of zooming in on the target. And then work backwards from it. It's okay. I'm not sure about this bit here and that little jump, so let's try that instead. Yes, I do like that. Let's listen all the way through.